Hello, Muhammad. Good evening. Am I audible to you? Hello, Muhammad Irshad. Can you hear me? Hello, Muhammad Irshad Abdul Halim. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Please write it in the chat box. Am I audible? Hello, Muhammad. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Hello, Muhammad. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Hello, Darshna. Good evening. Welcome to class. You are late by 10 minutes. Okay, let's just start because the other student wasn't responding actually. So I was just waiting for for some of the other students. All right. So today we are going to study about the contract of agency. That is the agency contracts. All right. So what is the contract of agency? It is a contract between two parties in which one party agrees to act as the agent of the other party. On behalf of the other party is the agent, and the one who gives the orders or who is in the commanding position or who is being represented is the principal. Okay. So there are basically two parties in such a contract. First is the agent. He is a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with third persons. And the person for whom such acts are done is called the principal. So the contract which creates this relationship of principal and agent is called an agency or the contract of agency. Now, what are the legal rules to such a contract? First, there should be an agreement between the principal and the agent. The agreement may be express or implied. What is the difference between express and implied, Darshna? Can you just tell? Okay, do you have any idea what is? No, not actually this. In terms of a contract, it means express means something that is stated, that is verbal. Okay, and implied is which is not stated, which we have to understand from the circumstances prevailing. All right, that is the difference between the two. Express is agreed upon, written, and implied is derived. It's not mentioned. All right. Okay. So the agreement in this case can be expressed or implied. Good evening, Sunil. You are late by 12 minutes. Okay. So the next thing is that the agent must act in the representative capacity. That means the agent should behave as a representative of his principal. He should just behave as the representative. Then the principal must be competent to contract. What does this mean? Competent to contract. Do you know what are the essential qualifications for a person to enter into a contract? What are the things he need to know? Hello. Non-returnable. No, what this competent means that he should have the essential qualifications to enter into a contract. Now, what are the essential qualifications a person must have? That means that he should be a major. Major means he should be 18 years or above of age. Then he should be of sound mind. These are just the two essential things which a person must have in order to enter into a contract. So the principal must have these qualities. It is not necessary for the agent to hold these qualities. Means he has to be of the sound mind, that is pretty obvious, but having like crossed the age of 18 is not essential. He may be less than that also. So that is That is the essential qualification. Like you must have seen that these days that uh, there are people with people who are uh, who work as the agents of the bank. So these are the people who work as the agents of the bank, and they can just like they can be less than their age. Like they can be less than 18 years of age. Then the next is uh, the consideration is not necessary. Like every contract is backed by by consideration. Consideration means what we are getting in return of doing or not doing a particular thing. So in this case, consideration is not important. Okay. Now, what are the general rules of a contract of agency? These are just the general rules. Just a second. Yes. So a person, whatever he can do himself, he can get it done through an agent. That is the reason why a contract of agency is created. Then he who acts to another does by himself the same thing. But the question that arises over here is that we can say that agent is like the servant of the principal, but that is not correct. There is a difference between agent and servant. Now we'll be seeing that in the upcoming slides. Okay. So now who can employ an agent? Again, the person who has the essential qualification. That is the one who is like one who is 18 years or above of age, and one who is of sound mind. What is the difference between an agent and a servant? The first is that he has the authority to create a commercial relationship between the principal and the third party. He has got his relationship with the principal is backed by legal he is backed by legal terms and conditions. But for servant, there is no such authority, there is no such support. Then agent, he can work for several principals at a time. It is not so that if he is working for Mr. X, he cannot work for Mr. Y. He can work for X, Y, Z at the same time. And servant normally works for one master at a time. Okay, if we employ a full-time servant, then that servant normally is for one person only. Or if we employ somebody as accountant in the company, then he can work only for that company. Then agent gets commission for their work. Their commission is normally not fixed. It depends upon the volume of the business. It's like 4%, 5%, whatever terms it is agreed upon. And for servant, he usually gets the salary or wages. There is nothing as such commission for the servant. Now, what is the test of agency? Like, how can we know that a particular person is acting as the agent of his principal? That we will see now. Now, how can the contract of agency be created? This is important. There are three ways to create it. One is agency by express agreement, agency by implied agreement, and agency by ratification. So from the name only, agency by express agreement, that means it is expressed, it is agreed upon. There is a contract by the principal appointing one person as his or her agent. That is express agreement. And implied is when the conditions that are prevailing, they force us to think that this is a contract of agency, like this person is acting as the agent of the other person because of the conditions we are accepting it. Then agency by ratification is by bringing about certain changes in the contract. Like this is normally a type of contract of agency in which the act is done first and then the contract of agency comes into existence. Then we assume that the person is acting as the agent of another person. Okay, the things are clear to you so far? Okay. So, agency by express agreement. It is appointment in writing or by words of mouth, usual form of a written agreement. Power of attorney, general power of attorney or a special power of attorney. So this is like in this case, the agent may be given a power of attorney by his principal. He may be given a right to think on certain things. Alright, that is the meaning of power of attorney. Now, the next is Sushil Sharma. Good evening and welcome to class. Is this your first class, Sushil? Oh, all right. So now we come to the second type of the condition, like agency by implied agreement. Now in this case, because of the conduct of the parties, we assume that the two parties are in a contract of agency. Okay, due to the conduct of the parties or the course of dealing between the parties or the situation of a particular case. Good evening, Samu. Yes, you are really late today. That's good, Sushil, that you have given the examination for this. Alright. So you are excused for today, but please try and be on time because it's difficult to catch in between. You will be having problems with that. Alright. So now how can this implied agreement be created? Now there are three things in it. There are three types in which such a contract may emerge. There are three situations which are there which force us to believe that now there is an implied agreement over here. The first is agency by estoppel, agency by holding out, agency by necessity. Now let's see them in detail. So the first is agency by estoppel. Now this is when we can say some kind of fraud is conducted. In this situation, what happens is that the agent makes you believe that he is the agent of his principal and he forces you to act according to this. So this is called agency by estoppel, where a person by his words or conduct has willfully led another to believe that certain set of circumstances or facts exist and the other person has acted on that belief. He is estopped from denying the truth of such statements, although such a state of things did not in fact exist. Like for example, you have taken a new car and you go to an insurance company to get the insurance done of the car. So one day you are meeting a person and you are just trying to figure out the things. Okay, you haven't taken the plan then and there. You say, okay, I'll take another day or two and I'll get back to you. Then the very next day you get a call from the same office, supposedly from the same office, and then there is a person online and the person says that I am a representative of the same company, and I have some additional offers for you. If you are going, we have one new scheme. If you are going to uh, take this insurance plan, you will have some additional benefits, and the consideration for this is more premium. The premium which you were supposed to pay will now be increased by so and so amount, and then you enter into that contract and you take that policy. So in this case, and later you find out that this person was a fraud. He was not a representative of the same company, but by his behavior, by his conduct, he has made you believe that he was one from that company, and based on this you have taken a crucial decision. You have acted on that. So now you have entered into a contract, and you cannot deny this. You cannot say that this man did a fraud. If you are able to prove this, then it's fine, but otherwise, just by saying this, you cannot get away with this. You will have to carry forward this thing. So this is agency by estoppel. When by the behavior a person poses to be the agent. That is that. Then agency by holding out it's a step ahead of estoppel. When there is a positive or an affirmative conduct by the principal, means the principal is either going to say yes or no. His consent is needed over here. That is agency by holding out. And the last is agency by necessity. Now in agency by necessity, due to extraordinary circumstances, person may be compelled to act without requiring the consent or authority. Means sometimes the circumstances force you to take a decision on behalf of another person, and in that case you may appear to be like his agent. Like for example, you are a transit agent. Okay, transit agent means you are responsible for carrying the goods from one country to one place to another place, and for that you are responsible for that, and you take just just a second, I'll have a glass of water, then I'll just continue. Yes, so like you are the transit agent, you have to carry goods of Mr. X and you have to carry goods from place X to place Y. Then you are having variety of goods in your ship. Now suddenly what happens is there's a storm in the sea, and because of that the ship is about to sink, and you are carrying some cotton bales with you. Okay, so what is the property of cotton? It gets heavier when it soaks water. So you are carrying that in your ship, and because of the condition requiring you to do, what you do is you throw away some bales of cotton from the ship so that it doesn't absorb water and becomes heavy. So in this case, you have taken a decision on your behalf. you haven't taken the consent or authority, but the circumstances so required. It was a dire circumstance. It was a necessity that you have to take that decision. It was in the favor of other parties, other things which you were having in your ship. So now you have acted as the agent of your master, your principal. So this is agency by necessity. There was no contract as such, but you have acted as the agent. Maybe this step would have been taken by the owner also, if he would have been there, isn't it? So that is agency by necessity. Now did you understand this one? Okay. Now, first, what are the essential conditions for this one? There must be real emergency to act on behalf of the principal. An agent not in a position to obtain instructions, acting honestly and in the interest of the principal, adopting reasonable and practicable course of action. He should be reasonable and practicable in his approach. Like suppose there's another example in which the person is carrying goods in the ship and he is having certain perishable goods like fruits, vegetables, milk products. He's carrying all that in the ship, and the ship was about to reach in, it was expected that it will reach in 10 days, but because of the storm and the bad weather conditions, the ship is now expected to take 14 days. So in that 14 days, this vegetables, fruits and this milk stuff may get damaged, may get perished. So in this case, what can this person do? He may just sell off these things in a port. As soon as the ship reaches a port in during the course of journey, he may just sell off these goods and get the amount. So what he is doing, he is now acting in the interest of the principal. If he wouldn't have sold, then all the things would have got rotten and the principal would have suffered a great loss. Okay? So again he is acting as the agent of his principal, and this is agency by necessity. Is that clear? And this was something like this was something expected. Now there are some cases for this, like where the agent exceeds his authority bona fide in an emergency. Yeah, if he is exceeding the authority, then it may be not accepted. Then where the carrier of goods acting as a bailee does anything to protect or preserve the goods. Now who is a bailee? Bailee is the person who takes hold of the goods of a person and hands it over to them once he finds them or meets them. So over where there is the carrier is acting as the bailee. Then where the husband leaves the wife Now, the next is agency by ratification. So, in this case, a person does some act on behalf of another person without his knowledge or authority. So, another person subsequently accepts the acts, then this is agency by ratification, also known as ex post facto agency, agency arising after the event. Like the example which I gave you, in which the carrier is selling the goods at a port to save them in that step was taken in the interest of the principal only by that particular person, but there was no agreement of that kind. So over here, that is a case of ratification. The contract of agency or the relationship of agency has arisen after the event. Once he sold the goods, he realized the money. Then he handed over that money to his principal, to the actual owner of the goods. So this was agency by ratification. Okay, it was necessity as well as ratification. All right. Is it clear? Okay. Now, what are the conditions for a valid ratification? You can just read it. Simple things are there. Read? Okay. Now, the agents can be of different types, different categories. So the first is the general agent. It is the one employed to do all the acts connected with a particular business or employment, like manager of a firm. The manager is taking care of n number of things at the same time. He is managing the firm. So he is the general agent. The special agent is for a particular task. He is employed for one particular task. Like the agent employed to sell a motor car. He is only responsible for this. Then like there is a life insurance agent appointed by a company. So he will be selling only the life insurance plans. Now these days banks have recovery agents. You know what are recovery agents? Anybody? For the loans, but their actual work is to, like, if the customer is not able to pay the loan, so they have to recover that amount from them. They are actually little influential people. They are not normal beings. They are influential people, some don type of people. So their work is to just get this work done. Then universal agent are where the authority is unlimited. He enjoys extensive powers to transact every kind of business on behalf of the principal. Okay, he is a universal agent. Now there is mercantile agent. Mercantile agent is the one who is responsible for the sale and goods or sale and purchase of goods. Okay, so he deals with that only, that business only. Goods are there. Then these mercantile agents are further divided into categories. The one is factor. Factor is like possession of the goods is given for the purpose of selling the same, sells in his own name, has generally and usually sells in his own name. Like the manufacturer or the factory owner, he appoints um, these what are they called, distributors. So what is the purpose of these distributors? They are responsible for the these distributors will be taking care of sale. So sale can be conducted by the manufacturer himself only, but he is, yes, selling all across with their help. Then there is broker. Broker is there. He just he just conducts a business. He does not take the possession of the goods. He is appointed just for brokerage purpose. Like in the export and import business, brokers play a very important role. They are appointed to negotiate and make the contracts for the sale and purchase. They are brokers. In the share market, we have share brokers. What do? They open an account in the name of the customers. They open a demat account for them and they conduct transactions through that account in the name of the customer. So they just act as the facilitators. They don't take possession of those shares or those goods. Okay. Then commission agents, they buy and sell and receive commission. Simple. Like we have insurance agents, we have loan agents, we have credit card agents, debit card agents from the bank. Lots are there. Then del credere agent. He is a special type of an agent. He is an agent, like if one is appointed as a del credere agent, then that person takes a responsibility on him. He takes the responsibility that in case the third party with whom the business has been conducted is not able to pay the amount or makes a fault in paying the amount, then this person is going to make good the financial loss of his master, of his principal. Okay, he is called the del credere agent. Then there is non-mercantile agent. He is not into the business of selling and purchasing goods, like insurance agents, counsels, advocates, etc. These are all non-mercantile agents. Now, what are the duties of an agent? Very simple. Duties, like he has got some duties, then he has got some rights also. So we'll be seeing them. You can just read it. It's very simple. You have any problem, please ask. Read? Have all of you read this? Then there is more. Read all of you? We can just continue. Okay. Now comes the right of the agent. Like he has got these are the rights of the agent. You can just read it. Rights to retain money due from the principal. In case the principal makes a fault in making the payment, he can retain the money till the time he gets his remuneration. Right to receive the remuneration. Right of lien. Now what is this lien? This lien is the interest in the goods. So he has the interest just to uh, just till the time he has not realized his money. Once he receives his money, he has no interest in the goods. Then rights to be indemnified against consequences of lawful acts. Right to compensation. Like he has the this means that if in case he gets into some legal formalities and he is running it on behalf he is running the case on behalf of his principal. So what he can do is he can if like he pays to the lawyer, he pays for some other things also, so he can just get that amount indemnified from the principal. So that's it. Then rights to compensation. Right to be indemnified against consequences of acts done in good faith. Like in some cases he may take a decision and he may do something in good faith. Like he may do something extra beyond what he is entitled to do. Then in that case, if he has incurred some expenses in doing that, he can recover that amount from his principal. Right of stoppage of goods in transit. Principal becomes insolvent. Agent has brought goods out of his own money. Okay. This will happen in this case. If the principal becomes insolvent or he has invested his own money for getting the things. Now there are the rights of principal. Please read them. Now comes the duties of the principal. The rights and duties are very similar. Now what is his duty? He has to pay remuneration to the agent. He has to indemnify agent for the what were his rights are the duties of the principal. So if you even remember one, you can change it as per the other person. Okay, this is simple. Now delegation of authority by an agent. What does this mean is that the agent can appoint a sub-agent. He can give his share of authority to some other person also. Now what are the reasons for that, or what are the cases in which such a thing can be done? First, express authority from the principal. The principal can do it himself. Now where the principal has impliedly by his conduct allowed such delegation of authority, he may sometimes with his behavior give this message that this person is the sub-agent. This is an ordinary custom of a particular trade. It depends on the nature of the work. Then acts which do not require professional or personal skills and due to unforeseen emergencies. Like suppose the agent is not well, he is not able to go to the site, then in such cases he can take such a step. Okay. Now what is the relationship of this principal with the third party? This depends on the scope and extent of agent's authority, principal and the third party, then personal liability of the agent. What is the first thing is the agent's authority, the power or capacity to bind the principal with the third party. Now there are two types of authority in this case: actual authority or ostensible or apparent authority. Now what is this actual authority? This is the one which is given to agent by his principal. This can again be expressed or implied. Like the contract, it was expressed or implied, this authority can also be expressed. He may say it directly, or it may be understood that the agent is expected to do this. This is his authority. Then ostensible or apparent authority. The act is in excess of the actual authority. Authority due to the appearance created by the principal. Like it's pretty similar to this implied authority only. Then authority in necessity. Again, sometimes due to the circumstances, the agent may acquire some additional authority, or he may transfer some of his authority to sub-agent or to the principal. So now principal also has got some relationship with the sub-agent. What is that? He can be a properly appointed one, or he can be an improperly appointed one. When he is properly appointed, in that case the principal is bound and is liable to the third parties for the acts of the sub-agent. Now where the agent is responsible to the principal for the acts of sub-agent. The sub-agent is responsible for his acts to the original agent, not to principal, except in fraud or willful wrong. This sub-agent normally has a direct relationship only with the agent. It is only in certain circumstances that he comes into direct picture before the principal, because he is appointed by the agent. Agent appoints him to lighten his work, so he is answerable to him, more or less. Now where he is improperly appointed, the principal is not represented by sub-agent, and hence he is not liable for the acts of the sub-agent. Okay, if this sub-agent makes any wrongdoing, then the principal is will not be answerable because he didn't appoint him. The agent is responsible for the acts of the sub-agent to the principal as well as to the third party, because he is appointed by the agent. So the agent holds the responsibility for his unlawful conduct, whether it is towards the principal or towards the parties dealing with him. He has to answer it. then sub-agent is not responsible to principal at all. Now, what are the cases in which there is a personal liability of the agent? When he becomes personally liable, apart from the professional liability, there comes a personal liability. You can just read it. You have any problem, please ask. Any point? Okay, Samu is saying done. Termination of agency, when can it come to an end? I'm taking it a little hush because there's no time left now, that is why. Now this can be termination of the agency by the act of parties when the agreement uh, stands illegal, or like it comes to an end. When there is revocation by the principal, it may be again expressed or implied. Now there are conditions to this. In case of continuous agency, uh, if like the business, if it is a continuous agency, if a distributor has been given a authority to, or has appointed a sub agent, then in that case he can end the contract, he can revocate it. Okay, he can bring it to an end, make it irreversible. Or when it is created for a fixed period of time, like for 1 year this person will be my agent, that may be the wordings of the contract. Then revocation of agency by the agent, sometimes the agent may himself end the contract. These are the rights. In case of death of any of the party, in case any of the party becomes insane, unsound mind, then the contract will be invalid. The principal becomes insolvent. He is not in a capacity to pay the money, so the account will come to an end. Then destruction of the subject matter of agency. Dissolution of the company. If it's a company, then if the company is dissolved, then principal or agent becomes alien enemy. Then in that case also, we will end the business. We will no longer deal with them. Now, what is the effectiveness of this? As between the principal and the agent, the termination of agency is effective only when it becomes known to the agent, and to the third parties when it is known to them. In case the agent comes and conducts some business with the third parties and they do not know that the contract has ended and he makes a fraud, then in that case they will not have any legal grounds. Now when it is irrevocable, when it cannot be ended, when the when the agent has some interest, then when revocation could cause the personal loss to agent, then when the authority has been partly exercised by the agent, means he holds a lot of authority and he doesn't parts with it, then this will be an irrevocable agency case. Alright, so let's just finish over here, and in fact this topic is over, there is nothing left now. So we'll meet in the next class. Thanks for your time, everybody, and please make sure that you are coming to the class on time, because waiting and wasting time doesn't make any sense. This is for everybody, especially to those who were late today. Okay, everybody, thanks for your time. Have a great week ahead. See you all in the next class. Bye. Take care. Good night.